Welcome back to the Piping Pastor, Travel Log Edition 2. Well, today I'm smoking on my Peterson pipe and I'm enjoying some Revelation Match along with my iced coffee because our bags have still not arrived. The continuing saga of our bags, I got a message on WhatsApp, curiously enough, sending me pictures saying, "Is this your bag? We have it here." And the message was from Columbia, Cali. So I was like, Columbia, California, how did they end up there? In that very, very tiny airport, it's like an hour outside of San Francisco. I was like, how did they? Okay, well, fine. So I messaged them back. I'm like, yeah, those are my bags. I don't know how they ended up there. I don't know how they're in California, but I know there's several flights from California to the East Coast on a regular basis. So I'm assuming you'll get this to us soon. The person replies, no, we're not in Columbia, Cali. We're in Cali, Colombia, the country, South America. Okay. But they were assured me they'd get the flight or get the bags to us on a flight at midnight. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get that tomorrow. Which brings up another point in my travel pouch, my Whitlock travel pouch, where I brought all my stuff for my pipe smoking things. I had my lighter and my check tool in there as well, my regular check tool. So happily, I have some backup check tools. And actually, I think this one is the one I got in the GAW from Hoot and Briar. So that came in handy, having a backup. And then I'm on to matches until I get my lighter back. So in any case, well, I hope you enjoyed the last video of the Sagarin snuff. I didn't get the still shots in there, so I'm going to put them in on this video here. So I'm going to include the still shots, and then I'm also going to include the video that I took in Edinburgh at the Cigar Box, which was my first foray into pipe smoking 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, when I first began smoking a pipe. So by way of explanation, I'll show the pictures here, and then I'll come back and kind of explain where they were. So the first picture is of a tobacco jar and clay pipe of Sir Walter Raleigh. Both those pictures I got in the Tower of London. And Sir Walter Raleigh was imprisoned in the Tower of London, but because he was a noble, an important person, even though he was in jail, he was afforded certain amenities, and he was a pipe smoker. And more than that, he was at the forefront of pipe smoking in the United Kingdom. He's one of the primary reasons that pipe smoking kind of took off and became acceptable in the United Kingdom. And they found those while excavating in the Tower of London. What they assume is his pipe and tobacco jar. And considering it's porcelain and it's a clay pipe and that it survived, I think it's extraordinary. But I thought, wow, that's neat. The person who really normalized pipe smoking in the United Kingdom, and there's his stuff. The second one you may have been rather curious about. It's a pipe smoking monkey. And if there is not a presenter in the YTPC using that moniker now, I'm sure there will be, because that's a hilarious moniker. But the pipe smoking monkey, based on the drawing, it looks like some species of baboon, and I'm sure there's a zoologist among us who will be able to identify the species more accurately. But apparently, in the King's Menagerie, because the King's Menagerie was located there at the Tower of London, and in that time, it was one of the ways that kings displayed their wealth and power was to have unusual animals in their menagerie, tigers, elephants, ostriches, things of that nature. And apparently this one particular monkey was fond of smoking a pipe. It doesn't say where it picked up the habit, or I'm not sure, but the monkey would get agitated and attack people if it didn't have its pipe. So I was like, there's a story in that. But again, you can see by the illustration, it's a clay pipe, which is what they used back then. I mean, briar didn't come along until later. So the fact that a monkey was careful enough with a clay pipe to be able to enjoy a smoke, I thought was rather fun as well. So that was the two still shots that I wanted to get to. I have several others that I got at Westminster Abbey with, as my wife and children refer to it, my photos with famous dead people. I'm a big fan of literature, as you're all aware. And Poets Corner was a big deal for me. There in Westminster Abbey. So I got pictures right there next to Samuel Johnson, Thomas Hardy, C.S. Lewis, Lewis Carroll, where they think Chaucer is. For me, that close connection to history is just, I get excited about it. It's like, right there, just a few feet away is, Samuel Johnson, it's Handel. I mean, they're right there. It's the closest that, we're ever obviously going to get to them because they died hundreds of years ago. But travel note on that. If you ever do travel through the UK, and you're thinking of visiting Westminster Abbey or castle tours of any sort, get an annual pass. I know you're only going to be there for a couple weeks. You're not going to come back anytime in the next year, more than likely. But in most cases, especially for a family, the cost of an annual pass is less than the cost of the tickets for a single event. And an annual pass gets you into other venues, and it lets you surpass the lines to get in, and it precludes you from having to make timed ticket entries. So because we got an annual membership to the Westminster Society, we didn't have to wait in that long queue for a ticket. We didn't have to arrange 10:30 time, 11:30 time. We just walked up when it was convenient, and we bypassed the entire line. Actually, they let us go into a different entry, so we didn't have to wait in line for anything. Just boom, right in and out. So, and it's the same thing for castle tours throughout Scotland and England and so forth. Get the annual pass. But also, got to go to the cigar box. So I'll show you that video just now. Hey there, YTPC. This is the Piping Pastor in Edinburgh now, finally on the way up from Scotland. And here we are at the Cigar Box on the Royal Mile, the first place my pipe smoking journey began 10 years ago. We're going to pop inside and see if we can do some shoots, and if nothing else, get some of that English blend. Hey YTPC, this is the Piping Pastor from inside the Cigar Box. And sadly, Chris Kilpatrick is no longer with us. So I came in here to hopefully get some of his English blend, and it's not going to be possible. So, but it's a wonderful shop. They got a great selection of cigars here, 10 tobaccos, bulk tobaccos. So by all means, if you're in Edinburgh, and I of course don't advise coming during festival season, I picked the wrong time to come. But pop on in and grab a cigar and maybe purchase a pipe, and you can at the very least, see Chris's picture. And it's sad to see that he's no longer with us, but in any case, the shop is still here. So by all means, come on by. Now, it is sad that he had passed away. I went in all excited to get this English blend, and I recalled the name of it. I think he called it like the Black and Tan or something like that. It was some name like that. But I was excited to go in there, and I was going to get some, bring it back, and have it, and be able to share it with you all, and so forth. And I walk in, and they don't have any more house blends up. I was like, hey, what's going on? I explained, the story and everything. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry, he passed away. I think it was in 2020. And I was like, oh. And so that blend is lost forever, which is a sad thing. He didn't keep a recipe book that he passed on. It was just something he did himself and knew himself. So there's a lesson in that. First of all, it is sad, but I do not regret my experience with that tobacco at all. It launched me on my trip on pipe smoking. I got to enjoy it for as long as I could. And now that it's gone, that memory and that enjoyment doesn't go away. So I will still always have that, and I'll still always have that connection to him as well through that and because of that. So I don't regret that at all. What is a bit sad is that that was a great blend and it's lost forever. And if he had written those ingredients down and written those amounts down and passed them on, it's something that could have lived on after him. And I think there's a lesson in that for us as well. That you do have to think about legacy. You're never quite sure when the end is going to be coming, and if you have something to pass on, make sure you make provision to do so. Wisdom, knowledge, these things that you think, oh, you know what, I'll get around to it, right? I'll share that recipe for chili with my kids some other time, right? Make sure you make provision for that, so that those things can go on beyond you. So, well, that'll be it for this time. And then I have my last section in my third video. I decided to break this into 3. Will be my tour through the tobacco shop in Leith. And I'm saving that one for last because it was my last tobacco shop, of course, but also because it was a great deal of fun. I had a great deal of interaction. So we'll look forward to showing you all that, and have a lovely week. As always, happy reading.